Hi guys, it's Colette, and today we'll be working on this holographic gradient with a black and clear chevron water marble on top. I hope you're subscribed to my channel, My Simple Little Pleasures, and if you are, make sure to turn on that notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. This particular manicure was a little bit frustrating, but if you'd like to see how I did it, just stay tuned. First, to remove my old manicure, this is the 4th day, and I actually took the polish off of this nail over the weekend because my existing patch failed and I needed to fix it, and intended to do the rest of these before now, but just haven't got around to it. I've been really tired. Side effect of a new medication I'm on, but the one thing I am a little bit nervous on is that my index nail had some staining when I took it off, and it seems to have mostly gone away by now, but I'm wondering if my other nails will be stained, and boy, this peel off is really sticking this time. I don't usually have this much trouble, as you guys know. In fact, usually the more layer of polish I do, the easier it is to come off. Okay, so there you can see the staining that this leaves behind. As I mentioned in the polish testing video, sometimes when a polish stains the water as you're marbling, that's an indication it may also stain your nails. So it looks like that unfortunately did happen. Once I get this all off and, you know, any excess cleaned up, I'm going to hope that my citrus scrub helps to get some of that staining off. But just a heads up, if you use these colors, I'm thinking it's probably mint julep that was the culprit, since that was also the base color. Under the black nails as well, if you didn't see this tutorial, I marbled all my nails and then decided I wasn't happy and turned it into an accent manicure. So, gosh, these are all just coming up really, really tough. And honestly, I do not know why. I don't think it's due to the extra polish. I've definitely done that in the past and not had this much trouble. But it is what it is. Now that my nails are clean and dry, I'll be applying my base coat. I'm using Ready for Takeoff, which is a peel-off base, and you can use whichever is your personal favorite. I gave my nails a good scrub with my Zoya Cutica Sugar Scrub, and you can see the staining is much improved. There's still a little bit, but hopefully that will wear away over the next few weeks. I'm going to quickly go over the colors. If you miss any, of course, they'll be listed down below as well. For the gradient, I'm going to be using Date with Destiny and Eternal Beauty. Those are both Color Club holos from 2 different years' Halo Hues collection. And then for the marble overlay, I'm going to be using OPI Black Onyx as well as OPI's top coat. And gradients are pretty straightforward, of course. I'm slightly nervous because I opened my new bag of sponges and realized they're not quite the same as the sponges I usually use. They're, I don't know, they're a little bit more textured. So we'll see how that goes. But you can use any kind of sponge you want to do gradients. This is a makeup sponge just like the other kind, but I've also in the past have used like artist sponge, which are very textured, so you don't have to use any particular kind, but you will get a slightly different look depending on what kind of texture sponge you use. Oh, what am I doing? I'm getting the sponge ready and I have not prepped my nails. This is what I get for not paying complete attention. I'll leave that in. You guys seem to like bloopers. But before I get started sponging, I want to prep around my nails with Simply Peel. And at least I wasn't so absent-minded that I started sponging without doing this step, which I've done in the past. And I feel like I should apologize for my Simply Peel brush because it's really lumpy and gnarly right now. I'm not quite sure why. I've been having trouble with my brush lately. I do have a replacement brush, but I feel like I don't want to replace it until I figure out why this one got quite so gnarly quite so fast. I feel like when I very first started using Simply Peel, I didn't have this kind of issue with the brush getting all gunky. So if anybody has any tips for me, that'd be great. Okay, now that I actually have some protection on, let's try that again. I just went ahead and grabbed another sponge. I do keep my half-used sponges and use them when I'm like testing or experimenting, but I kind of just prefer a fresh sponge when I'm actually doing a manicure. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these two applied on here, and then I'm going to be doing both my hands at the same time, or at least attempting to. I've already had them get stuck a couple times, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, I spoke too soon. This is exactly what has already happened once, and the whole thing pulled off, and I had to reapply on my index finger, so let's snip that. Oh, now I feel like this is just a comedy of errors here. Okay, I'm just leaving that as it is on the pinky. I'm going to reapply my index finger, but I really just would love to actually get started on this manicure. Okay, that didn't take very long. This is still wet enough to work with. Did soak in a little, so I'm just going to apply a little bit more, make sure I have enough on there to get some results when I sponge, and see if I can get through this without any more mess-ups. Okay, so much for doing both hands, because I've managed to just get my right hand stuck all over the place. So let's see if I can just finish sponging my left hand. And this sponge, can you see, maybe if I turn it like this a little bit, how the sponge is starting to swell a little bit, which is not out of the ordinary, but I feel like it's swelling differently than my usual kind of sponge does. I don't know. Getting kind of frustrated with this manicure, and I'm not even like halfway through. So as I'm getting used to this new sponge, it seems like it's absorbing the polish, but at the same time, when you sponge it on, it's releasing the polish. So it's like more absorbent and less absorbent at the same time, which I know sounds really weird, but that's the only way I know how to explain it. And you can see the difference in that I'm consistently able to sponge like 2 nails at a time, which with my other type of sponge, I only could do that sometimes. So I don't know if I could say yet whether I like this one better or not, but it definitely works. I know some nail artists prefer to remove the latex and apply a whole new coat to water marble with, but because I'm kind of lazy, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra latex around the bottoms of my fingers and then move on to the water marble. As usual, I'm working in a 5-ounce paper cup filled with room temperature filtered water, and I'm just going to be alternating the black and the clear up to a total of 10 rings. I think I got a really uneven drop of clear in there, and that's why I ended up with that narrow ring. But I'm going to go ahead and stretch this up to the top and then try and get that bubble down to the bottom. And then, this is really the great debate. Do I want to try and dip 2 nails or 3 nails? Let's start with a 1 stroke right down the middle here. And then we'll do 1 on this side and 1 on this side. And crap, now they're all kind of uneven. That's not ideal. I'm going to go ahead though and use this for my thumb. I think I can still get away with that. Kind of an awkward dip to get the area that I really want. So I'm going to turn the cup, and I'm probably going to cover up the camera here, so sorry, but I'm trying to aim the point of the chevron for the point of my nail. Dip in there, then clear off the excess, and we'll see if I got this on there straight. That's not horrible, I'll say that. Okay, so for this time, I'm going to stretch it this direction again, but instead of doing a center stroke, I'm just going to do 2 side strokes and hope that that keeps them there. That's better. Okay, so now the trick is to get my nails suitably lined up here, and hope that this goes on straight for both nails. I'd be tempted to try dipping them consecutively instead of together, but the last time I tried that, it didn't go well. And I feel like I might have got my middle finger in there crooked. We'll see in just a minute. Oh, no, my middle finger is straight and my pointer finger is crooked. That's frustrating. But the middle finger turned out good, I guess. Look on the bright side. Gonna do that one more time and try to finish off my ring and pinky. I'm gonna try these 2 consecutively. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh, I feel like this is gonna be really awkward however I do it. Let's try and get that on there straight. And then, whoa, Get you also straight. Oh, that's not straight. I already know it. Yeah, not straight. Guys, I'm so frustrated. But on the other hand, I only have myself to blame because this is what happens when you try to take shortcuts. Turns out not to be a freaking shortcut. So, you know, I don't usually do cleanup before I remove the latex. But since I've had this on since I did the sponging, I think I'm going to try and just go quickly around the cuticle before I peel, then finish cleaning up. I feel like that didn't work as well as I wanted it to, because I've still got quite a bit of gradient, like around the cuticle where I'm pretty sure I had latex covering, but like it was so dried it didn't want to quite come off properly. So, you know, all my time saving tricks were like fails, basically. Should probably have used separate latex for the marble and the gradient. Should probably have dipped my fingers separately, but I didn't. Once you're done with cleanup, you can go ahead and finish with top coat. And as usual, I'm using Seche Vite. So here's the finished manicure, and this isn't something that I do very often. In fact, I can't think off the top of my head whether I've ever done this before, but I am not doing my other hand. I'm not completely unhappy with how this turned out, but the whole thing was just so frustrating that at nearly 3 in the morning, I don't want to go through it all over again. I just want to go to bed. So I'm probably not going to finish this hand in the morning. I'm probably going to take off my left hand and start from scratch. But hopefully you guys at least got some entertainment out of this video. And if you can just imagine the whole manicure done with nails looking like that, instead of like the crooked, weird looking nails, that was my intent. That's what I was picturing in my head. And that's why I'm a little bit disappointed. And really, it's my own fault for trying to dip multiple nails at once. I know better. I continue to try and do it. Chevrons are fairly easy to place straight if you do just one nail at a time. And I learned this lesson time after time after time. So it's kind of a lesson of do as I say, not as I do. And part of the problem also was that I didn't do a ton of testing for this. I really only did 2. I did 1 in black with just 4 strokes out from the center. And then I did 1 in white that was zigzags and then with the couple chevrons drawn into it. And even without all the extra drawing, the white interacts quite differently with the clear in the water than the black does. The stripes were already much skinnier than they were in this one. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not a horrible design. I've definitely had manicures I was less happy with, but usually I'm doing both hands at once, so it doesn't make sense to stop in the middle of a manicure on one hand. But since I don't have any color on my right hand, I just right now don't see any point to adding any. And yeah, that's that. I'm done with this manicure. I'm frustrated with how it was going. About the only thing that didn't go wrong was I didn't spill my cup of water, and I better put it somewhere safe now before I jinx myself and tip it over. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. Like I said, I don't hate it. I just hate the experience, if that makes sense. Sometimes a manicure is really fun to do or just enjoyable or everything goes really smoothly. This was not that. This was the opposite of that. So hopefully that means the next one can be the opposite of this and it will be awesome. We'll see. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already and turn on your notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.